beautifuls and beloveds, welcome again. So, this one-part series, is it a series if it's just one part? I don't think so. It's just called My Mentor. I don't know, maybe this will be 2 parts, we'll see. I've got the gift for gab, it can go on for 10. Excuse me. My mentor, hashtag that. Go visit our blog. I wrote 2 or 3 nice little articles about 4 or 5 years ago about mentoring. And I'm not going to rehash that here, but I am going to talk about anecdotal stories. I am going to talk about some little helpful tips if you are a mentor. If you are a mentee, what is the proper protege? No, I'm trying to think of a good word here. Well, I don't know, but if you are a mentee being mentored, if you are being mentored, this might help you and give you some perspective to what mentors go through as well. So it's going to be a little bit of everything. And I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet, but I might have a lot to say about this because I have a lot of experience being on both sides of the fence. So underneath this, I'm putting, 2 things. So you can hashtag these 2 with our company name. So we have my mentor, my mentee, or my mentor being mentored is basically what it's all about. There is no handbook, although I do have a book coming out about that as well. The title is not titled yet. TBA. I'm not kidding. I'm writing all of this down because people get a hold of this even while we're recording it and they get really nasty. The title is to be determined or to be announced when we so choose to do that. But for now, who knows? We may title it My Mentor, My Mentee Being Mentored, or Being the Mentor. Kind of like that a little bit too. So everything has to be overly documented as we were told. And I'm like, sure, why not? More paper, more videos, more everything in our lives. Don't you love it? Okay, you guys do know I have a sarcastic sense of humor sometimes. I wish they would stop that. Okay, so people who know me know I've had pretty intense dealings with all of this. And if you so happen to be one of my mentors and you just so happen to want to watch my videos, that's fine. I love you still, even though it was weird at times. I think that's part of it, isn't it? Weirdness happens with this. No hard feelings. We both survived. Just be happy that we survived. That's how I see it. Oh, wouldn't that be a cute survival guide to being mentored? I'm claiming that copyright right now. And the partner. Survival. Mentoring. And I say that with some jesting and not. I think we just found our title. I think I'm going to divide the book in 2 because they're pretty... The one is very long. Actually, I'd be doing everybody a service if I break them in half. So that's what we're going to do. That's the title. Title of the books. 2 of them. One from one perspective, one from the other, because I've been on both sides. Yeah. And I do mean survival. Be happy. Oh, that's a cute subtitle. Be happy you survived. In a loving way. Come on. It's funny. What's not funny is some other things that happen, but... Title, plain, leave it alone. Documented. There we go. Okay, so that's amazing, isn't it? let that rain. So, I'm sure you're kind of wondering what I said and all this, right? Okay, really, there's been a lot of fun anecdotal things that are near and dear to my heart, that I will always hold near and dear to my heart, and they're things that I learned lessons, learned what to do, what not to do. Learn. You need a support system when you're mentored and when you're being a mentor. That's what I learned. Because this stuff ain't for chickens. Let me tell you something. It is really hard. You gotta lay down the ground rules right from the beginning. Don't just kind of say it's kind of there, kind of not. It really needs to be formalized somehow. I learned. You know, otherwise, you guys, it's like a hint drop. You don't know if you're getting it right or wrong. And then you don't know if you did something right or wrong. It's like, oh, I didn't know you were mentoring me. I'm down for it, but I didn't know that was happening. And I didn't know I let you down so much that you're going to be passive aggressive towards me because I didn't do a turn right. Yes, that was my experience. So, I'm telling you, you really need to have the ground rules worked out here. It just saves a lot of heartache, you know. But let's have fun with this, because even though there were a lot of tears and a lot of hurt and harm done, I can like step back and also see the joy and focus on that and just take those negative experiences and just say, okay, but you know what? It brought out this fruit in me, and I hope it brought out this fruit in them. You know, what are you gonna do? Okay, yeah, so be happy you survive. That's the subtitle. And what am I talking about in these? Well, I'm not going to give the whole thing away. Why? Because now that I decided to make it into 2 books, because it's really long, instead of 1, you get the perspective of both being mentored and mentoring. And it's very important, guys. It doesn't matter what art or business you're in. There has to be certain respects, lines drawn. I get it. You know, they say that, you know, your kids move out. How's that saying go? Forgive me, I will butcher this, I guarantee you. Not intentionally, but this is my brain. By the time your kids are fit to live with, they've moved out and they're living with somebody else. Something like that. Am I getting it kind of close? Same thing with mentoring. You become, or you take on a child, in a sense, to shape them. And you become a child. And you parent these children that you have. And let me tell you something. I know I'm not easy to mentor. First of all, because of my age. I'm a little, and always have been a little bit more mature and too old for my age in a sense. Not in looks, but in thought. And that's good and bad. It's good because I get it. It's bad because then I start learning and knowing more than my mentor just because I know how to do a logics table. You understand? Don't take it personally, my past mentors, but that's just where my brain goes. I catch on very quick. It doesn't mean I'm doing everything perfect. I'll be the first one to admit that. It's like, no, I didn't do that move perfectly, but I get the logic behind it. So my brain is more advanced than what my body is able to do. Always been that way. Me and my mom were always butting heads because of that, because I was extremely intelligent and I could see through things. So therein lies the problem. Me being mentored, even as a child. It's not like I acted like I knew it all. I didn't. I still don't. But because of the intelligence factor, made me very headstrong too. So, it was really hard, and I know this, for my mentors to mentor me. Because I asked why. Because I didn't always necessarily take well. Sometimes I did, but not always, to the teaching style. Or, and I'm not just talking about dance. I have had, Aaron Spelling was my mentor. My protector too, apparently. He was a great example for TV and film. I've had the privilege and honor to be mentored by some of the top people in their fields. That's also why I'm really good at my things. I already had the raw natural talent, and it was just honed in on and nurtured. Some were for a very short amount of time, Some were for very long periods of time. And in one case, I had a mentor that was younger than me, teaching me about tropes, because as a performer, as a writer, as a choreographer, this is helpful. It helps you wield. It's a tool in your arsenal of creativity to understand what tropes are. It also helps you understand real human beings, and unfortunately a lot of bad guys, a lot of good guys too. They fit into these tropes, and it helps explain a lot. So, you know, in some cases it doesn't always have to be your elder. It can be somebody younger. Not always. I think it's very rare, but it does happen. It happened with me. And that one was probably my most favorite of all. It had nothing to do with dance or the arts. It had to do with reading people. It had to do with, like I said, tropes, and then how I applied it. Okay, pretty amazing. I'm totally in love with this person, not in a sexual way or in any other way, but to love their spirit. My spirit is in love with their spirit. I'm going to write that down too. Spiritual love has to be a part of this, because that is what's going to get you over the bad days and the bad times, because there's going to be a lot of them on both sides, you know? Believe me, every day I was mentoring something, or somebody, I should say, something. I'm so tired. Freudian slip, maybe, I don't know. I am so tired. But when I was mentoring something, I kept hearing my mentor's voice, or pretending that they were on the sidelines watching me mentor somebody else, saying, now you understand what you put me through. Not that extreme. Not even close. But yeah, a little bit. And I'm not the only one to go through something like that, so it's not unusual. So if you've mentored me for any length of time, you know what I'm talking about. But you know what? I wasn't always a difficult person. Sometimes you, my mentor, was. You know this. And that's okay. It wasn't great to go through, but you know, I still love everybody, and I can say, you know what, it was for the time, and what happened on the other end, we're both still alive. Like I said, survival guide. Be happy you survived. And much fruit was had. That's something else. Fruit. Fruit means what you produced. What you both produced. I know I inspired my mentors. I can tell, because sometimes I've seen things that they gleaned from my stuff. I'm not talking about the theft like this other stuff we're talking about. And it wasn't even cherry picking. But you could see a theme that I know where it came from, and so do they. I'm like, I know where you got that from. And it turned out to be something very beautiful. So I'm like, wow, okay, I see where you took it. I had my version, you had your version, completely legitimate. But it wasn't a cherry pick, it wasn't a steal, it was, how can I say, completely different. You could probably put the two products side by side, and, well, no, you wouldn't even see, in some cases, at all. In some cases, yeah, you see like blatant similarities. But in these loving instances where true inspiration happened and it wasn't theft, it was very beautiful. And you say, oh, they got this from me. Example given, I was inspired to have rose petals fall down in the silent rose. Well, where did I get that idea? I actually was watching a TV show where they were shaking snow to fall down on stage. And I'm like, well, I don't want snow, but rose petals. Yes, when the rose blooms at the end, perfect. So I'm like, how do we make this happen? And you learn about a blanket, and you learn about how the blankets are sliced, so when you shake them, the fabric sways and the slits let the rose petals fall. And then I've seen other people borrow that idea and say, hey, I want something to fall too. It wasn't rose petals. It was completely different. But you could see that. So that's not steel. It's not even slightly exact. It's just the idea of having something fall from a blanket onto stage at a certain time in your piece, your performance, whatever. And, you know, that's not new. That's been done a million times over. So, you see what I mean? The difference? It's not where they looked at, like, one of my creations and took 5 elements from that creation and redid it themselves. Okay, that's something else, guys. And that's what we have a problem with. So, we're not down for that. But, you know, that's exciting when you bounce off of each other like that. But when you regurgitate the same exact thing. Okay, look. How do you actually survive? I love these titles now. How do you do that? Well, beloveds, it's not easy because you run the risk of pain. Oh boy. And let me show you something else too. And it hurts, and hearts break. You see this? Can you see this? No, those are not earlobes that I just drew. That's a broken heart. It doesn't always happen that way, but it can. And that's the yucky one. That's the rough one. That's the one that you say, okay, time needs to heal this wound very fast because it's really throbbing right now. And you hope and pray that it goes quicker than not. But do you know, it's always been my experience that the broken-hearted ones are always somehow the best ones. Because I learned so much more about myself and that other person. And I learned that I could go much deeper. I learned that my art could be that much more vibrant because of the pain. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. That's a different story. Go read my books. But for something like this, when there was a lot of pain, and, you know, I carry it with me sometimes on purpose because I want to choreograph something. I want to write something. I want to draw. I want to paint. I want to sing. I want to create something about it. So, of course, you use that as a tool from your arsenal. I went through this, and then you look at all the old communication, or if there were trinkets, or this was a positive one. And I'm pointing to this because this is so special to me. And it's really nothing, but it is something. What this is a safety pin. And I brought in different costumes that I had, meaning dresses that I've worn to dance in, or dresses that I've worn to go to a cocktail party and I knew there was going to be dancing, and you know, you want it to breathe a little when you're moving. So this is very sweet because it has a layer of crepe, Georgette crepe mesh, right? This is more Georgette crepe. It's really nice, and it has this really pretty grain to it, so it's not boring. You can kind of see it better here. Kind of pleats a little bit, kind of like gauze, but it's not gauze. And there's an underskirt to it, but see how light, and that's what a dancer wants. It breathes and it moves and it does special things. And when you're on the dance floor at a cocktail party, you know, I felt flirty and I wanted to be flirty for this, so I was like, this is going to be perfect. So anyway, getting back to this with my mentor, as you can see, it was very, very low cut. And I'm all about the body. I'm a dancer. I'm an artist. I love the body. Too much skin is never too much skin unless it's a little kid, if you know what I'm saying. And appropriateness. I would never wear this low cut of a top at a church or anything like that because, you know, it's inappropriate, I think. We're supposed to be godly and not tantalizing men. Hopefully you already caught your man, so there's no need to try to entice other men. I hope you're not like that. But anyway, I wanted to dance in this with just a bra underneath and not have to wear a shirt because it looks so nice, and I didn't want to bulk it up. So I was like, what do? I don't know how to fasten this right. And it's not perfect. You know, I've washed it a few times. But oh no, look, if you go like this, I just need to iron it. I misspoke. See, look at this. It perfectly covers up the low neckline, and I really wouldn't want to wear this particular one with that low cut of a neckline, because I thought it ruined this dress. It's supposed to be cute and flirty, not necessarily cute and sexy. It's like a deep brown bark color, and so I'm like, okay, what do I do? My mentor, my choreographer, I had a little safety pin, and she pinned it for me, and that's sweet. And all these years, I've kept it like that. I have never removed it. I've been tempted to, because like I said, I thought this was misaligned, but it really is not misaligned. Maybe I'm just slouching, or I don't know, but it's actually perfect like this. And we had pictures of the performance and video, and I was just so touched and so pleased. It was so fun to do, but it's these little things that can be something that you remember for a lifetime. And now I will have this article of clothing for a lifetime, and the pictures and the videos and everything that went along with it. And that pleases me, and it should please you if you are a mentor and you do something that sweet for your mentee or the one that you're mentoring. So that's a nice, sweet little anecdotal story. It didn't always end that way. You know, you guys know about my red ribbons thing, and but you know what? They're both equally important to me. I look back at this one, and I'm wearing this right now, and it's just like peace, serenity. And then I look back at my red ribbons thing, and I'm like, you know, I have regret, and then I also have something that I was so glad, because it had to be fought for. It was worth it. And it took me a long time to be able to say it was worth it. But you know how many people I have helped because of my red ribbons? And I do know that the corporations involved with harming me don't want me helping people, because look, you can control society easier if it's struggling and suffering. If people don't have a lot of money, oh, we'll dangle this carrot. Social dependency. You can have money and carrots if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Check the list, fill in the blanks. How much do you make? How much don't you make? I'm not making fun of anybody. I've been on social dependence, but I got off of it. We got off of it as a family immediately, as soon as we can. Hold on, guys. Okay, I got 6 minutes left. So, you know, we've all been in places like this. But when you're mentoring somebody, to have to keep all of this in mind, you know, all of these moments, all of these things that you struggle and strive for, I think it's all beautiful. And I wouldn't want to go through some of it again, unfortunately. And so I'm mindful when I mentor somebody. I'm not mentoring anybody right now. I have too much on my plate and table with all that. But just look at the videos, right? Hashtag corporate call out. You'll know what we're talking about. Should be tech call out. So in my need right now, I just cannot mentor anybody. But I was before all of this came to light. And I have to say that, you know, I had a lot of great moments. I had some that were just so challenging, and like I said earlier, I could just hear and see my other mentors sitting in the sidelines saying, that's exactly what you deserve because of what you put me through. Not in a mean way, but just like that quote that I'm really butchered about, you know, when your kids are finally fit to live with, they're living with someone else. Oh, maybe that's it. Something like that, right? That's the truth. Because mentoring, you are raising a child in that field that you're studying or that they're studying. And you might not think that they're ready to cut the apron strings, but guys, if you are getting a sense that your mentee is wanting to do that, please don't act overly motherly, because you're going to build a resentment between the two of you. As much as I know how much it can hurt to actually let go of that child, because you do end up loving them. I've always loved every single one of my mentors. Nothing weird. Okay, it's a real, like, normal spiritual love, an appreciation. Some people can't handle that. I'm very Italian, okay? And I'm very honest with my feelings and how I feel about other people. I don't hide anything. And, you know, some people can't hack it. That's fine. Bothers me not. Even if it bothers them, I'm not going to change how I am, because I like it. And, you know, I've always wanted to keep that in mind, because when you're mentoring somebody, you have to consider them. It's not about you. When you're mentoring somebody, it's about them. When you're teaching somebody, it's about them. You're getting paid to do what you're doing. If you're donating it, that's a different story. Then you must have a very special relationship. And it doesn't mean that you abuse your mentor or your teacher or anything like that. You have to hold everybody to account if they start behaving badly. But don't falsely do it. Hold on, helicopter. Okay, so if you, okay, right, don't falsely accuse anybody. That's number one. That should go without saying. It should. But, you know, you have to call each other out, and you have to do it in a loving way. Don't be mean. Do it in a loving way. It's not hard to do. And calling somebody out is not saying, hey, you look like you were sick. That's not a call out, that's being concerned. And then don't go behind their back and then do a false complaint saying they were being disruptive in class or something like that. There was no discussion of, you know what, if you feel sick, can you please not do that anymore? Here, this is what I need you to do instead. Is this going to be a regular thing or what? No, then a nice conversation can be had. No, I'm pregnant and I have morning sickness, and this isn't going to happen until it stops happening, and you can't show discrimination against me. I have to throw up where I throw up. I don't know, but you see what I'm saying? There has to be don't not communicate. This is one of the things that creates pain and heartache, by not communicating. I over-communicate. Some people can't handle that. That's their problem, actually. I was doing every time, whether I was mentoring or being the mentee, I over-communicated, because you have your alibi right there. And that what saved me each time. The alibi. No, that's not what it was. Hold on. So, there has to be a mutual respect and love. If it's not based in love, there's going to be more pain and there's going to be more heartbreak. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Okay, hold on, guys. Alright, I have more to say, so there's going to be a part 2. So come back.